Welcome to Obstacle Running Adventures,
the podcast that fuels your passion for obstacle course racing,
running, and all things adventurous.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a weekend warrior,
we've got news updates as well as interviews with athletes
and other key members of our athletic community.
As a weekly show since 2017, we have covered everything from
championship and virtual races
to fundraising events and FKTs. And now, here are your hosts,
Michael Stefano and Caitlin Ritter.
Standing on the corner, lost all my clothes.
Hey guys, it's Michael Stefano.
And Caitlin Ritter.
And Caitlin, how was your weekend?
What did we do this? Oh, we did things we can't tell people.
Mm-hmm. Which makes it super suspicious when you can't, not baby related. But yeah, it makes it even more, you made it worse.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, okay. And I've been working on my mental health. Actually, my first good day was unfortunately the day that I got the news about Rylan, so that kind of sucked. But just trying to stay busy, working around the house. We've been doing a lot of stuff around the house, which has been nice. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors.
Shout out Mudgear, use code ADVENTURE for 15% off your next Mudgear purchase, and Caterpie, use code OCRReport20 for 20% off your next Caterpie purchase. And if you're interested in running a Spartan Deka or Tough Mudder, use code OCRReport20 for 20% off your next event.
Perfect. Let's shout out the Patreon supporters.
Jason Dupree, Samantha Thompson, Bradley Keel, Charlotte Engelman, Aaron Grindstaff, Laura and Stephen Ritter, Hank and Arlene Stefano, Cheryl Miller, Jessica Johnson, Christopher Hoover, Kevin Gregory Jr., Evan Irick, Brenton George, Logan Nagel, Asa Connington, Seth Render-Kanesh, Steve Bacon, Robert Landman, and Julianne Perkins Estes.
Yes, thank you guys so much for the support, and to the home of us on the internets, the OCR Report, and to Will Hicks,
the Podfather.
Check it out over at the OCRreport.com. We're all kind of grieving in our own way, because all of us knew Rylan to varying degrees. And to our sponsored athletes,
Javier Escobar, Kelly Sullivan, Ryan Brizolara, Joshua Reed, and Kevin Gregory Jr.
Yes. So did we do a poll? I don't think we did a poll this week.
No, I don't think we did either.
Okay, we're also going to skip Meme of the Week as well and head right over to quick news. I found a whole bunch of news stories that I meant to dig up last time, but this is one that I believe you found.
Yes, somebody posted in the World's Toughest Mudder community.
Stuart Neal.
And he said, when your mate does a 5K Urban Tough Mudder in Shanghai, and they're giving out WTM medals as the finish medals.
So definitely there was a bit of a mix-up there, which I think is kind of funny. But
a 5K for that medal that I ran 40 miles
but kind of a sign of like how problematic the kind of shipping and all that stuff has been lately. And then there was this thing that I thought was really cool. Would have been cool to do an episode on it. Maybe I will. We'll see. But there was the Long Walk treadmill screening. So what have you seen about this, Caitlin?
Yes. So I saw that you have to walk at least 3 miles per hour while watching The Longest Mile. And like if you stop walking, they like kick you out of the theater.
Yeah. Which unless you have to like pee, that shouldn't be too hard. So I looked at it and it says that a constant pace of 3 miles per hour over the 1 hour and 48 minute film run time, it would take about 5.4 miles. So that's a pretty cool, fun event.
I wonder, one of my coworkers was reading that book over the summer. I wonder if she knew it was being turned into a movie or just a happy accident.
Oh, interesting. And next up, we have some Deka news.
Deka Europe posted, your medal isn't the only thing you'll want to show off at the finish line. Introducing the Oddballs X Deka underwear. Loud, comfy, and made for athletes who don't do boring kit.
Yeah, which is ironic that this isn't a Rylan episode because he was always very focused on having an awesome kit. But yeah, so that's pretty cool for those that are huge Deka fans. More hybrid related news. Let's see if you can read it better than he wrote it.
Matt Fraser's HWPO partners with High Rocks Boston.
Yeah, so it's going to be a brand crossover deal for that event. So that'll be interesting. I don't remember when that event is. I kind of wanted to go, but I don't know if it's too late to reach out to someone about that. And then someone in the hybrid racing community.
Amber Tate posted, loving you was the easiest thing I've ever done. Run free now, my sweet girl. Oh, poor dog. So
it looks like her Rottweiler passed away, which is very sad to hear about.
I love their little eyebrows.
I know. I feel like they all have those. And then I saw this in the WTM community page, and I thought it would be worth highlighting.
So it says, "Hey guys, I'm Trevor and I'm looking to register for World's Toughest Mudder 2026. I have one WTM under my belt from 2016. In that race, I raised $2,500 for cancer research with St. Baldrick and shaved my head."
It was also a special race because it had not been long since I was hospitalized for 2 weeks with a mental health episode. I achieved 25 miles, having slept for too long during night ops. It's a common first-timer mistake. This week, I am planning on raising money for... Yes, this year I'm planning to raise money for a mental health charity. My fitness level is very low, but I will have to improve on leaps and bounds and training, running, weight loss, and grip, strength, upper body exercises, but I live and breathe the world's toughest, so I want to make the trip from Toronto. I keep my bib close to me at the house for motivation. Nice to meet y'all and see y'all at Beaver Castle. And she hasn't done OCR in a while, but I still follow her and wanted to give her some attention for this. Lily Elkin
posted September 5th, 2025. Here's to a lifetime of love with you. Oh, congratulations. Does she have a boot on?
Yeah, I noticed that.
It's funny.
And this is a new story from Inside OCR.
Are you excited? Looks like some actual obstacle innovation happening in Europe at the Spartan Germany, Austria, debuting the hanging walls at Capron this weekend.
Nice. And then I saw this earlier today, but Project 300 was posted by Spartan.
300 humans, 200 days, 6 months total transformation. Apply now. Find out just how much you can change yourself in 6 months. A 200-day life-altering challenge is coming. Sleep, eat, train, and live like a Spartan. Why? We're already changed 12 million lives. Now we're backing it up with science.
Which I highly doubt there's any science involved whatsoever. But yeah, good for them for wanting to change more lives. They've always done weird things like this. So this is the next one of those. And then we have a couple podiums, only 2 podiums this time. But we're going to start off with Rally in the Valley podiums, which I will take while Caitlin finds the Pan American Championship podiums. So Rally in the Valley, 3rd place for the women was Kelly Sullivan. 2nd place was Doreen Klingberg. And 1st place was Morgan Gray. For the men, in 3rd place was Kyle Kokonos. 2nd place was Matt Fleck. And in 1st place, Dylan Maraglia. I think ORM posted it. And now for the Pan American Championship podiums.
In 3rd place,
For the men,
Tomasz Wołowski. Sorry.
That's a Wozniak.
Perfect. In 2nd place, Ethan Puputs.
Ethan.
That's what I said.
You said even.
Oh. And in 1st place, friend of the pod, sponsored athlete, Joshua Reed.
Just friend in general, previous coach. Congratulations. I haven't reached out. I should reach out to him. And for the ladies.
In 3rd place, Rose Wetzel. In 2nd place, Cassandra Gill. And in 1st place, Annie Doobie.
Yeah, congratulations to them. And I don't have the FISO World Championship podiums yet. I'll look for those for next episode. But secret link, there's 5 of them down below. Let's get to what this episode is all about. So I was potentially supervising in a session, and there was some downtime, so I briefly checked Instagram. Hypothetically, of course. I saw his picture, and it made me want to check in with him because we haven't talked in a bit, and then I read the description, and then I read it again because it didn't feel real, so I'm not going to pretend like he was my best friend, but I was a huge fan of him, both as an athlete and as a person. Post on Rylan Schadegg's account saying, "We are deeply devastated to share that Rylan died on Sunday evening doing one of the things he loved most, running up the mountains as fast as he could and then flying back down them. His motto was to live wild and die free, and he lived that to the fullest. Those of you that know Rylan know that his faith in Christ and his resulting love for others characterized the way that he lived life. He was a son, brother, friend, and mentor to many who will miss his smile, his friendship, and his own unique brand of humble, competitive drive. His faith was integral to everything he did in every aspect of his life, to include his training, his social media, and his daily interactions. We pray that his love for Jesus and his example will be a reminder for us to always pursue Jesus and live life with everything you have. We would appreciate time to grieve, process, and figure out how to move forward. Please respect our request for privacy, the Schadegg family." Well, we're going to have some posts to read from people that have experiences with them, starting with OCRWC.
OCRWC said, "Our OCR family is heartbroken by the passing of Rylan Schadegg. Rylan wasn't Just an incredible athlete. He was the kind of person who lifted others up, who pushed with joy and determination, and who reminded us all why we love this sport and this community. Whether it was on the course, in the mountains, or just everyday life, he lived with passion and kindness that inspired everyone around him. To Rylan's family, friends, and all who raced alongside with him, you are in our thoughts. His spirit and energy will always be a part of this community and will carry him with us every time we step up to a start line. Rylan, you will never be forgotten and forever missed.
Spartan posted, Rylan Schadegg, live wild, die free. We are deeply saddened by the loss of Rylan Schadegg, an elite athlete who stood among the very best in our sport. On course, he fought countless fierce battles with his rivals, always pushed the limits, raising the standard for everyone around him. Beyond the finish lines, Rylan's humanity, humility, and spirit touched everyone he met. He embodied the true values of a Spartan: strength, courage, resilience, and heart. His impact will be felt for years to come. Our thoughts are with Rylan's family, loved ones, and all those who were fortunate enough to know him. Thank you, Rylan, for giving us everything you had. You will be missed, but never forgotten.
The OCR report posted, Rylan Schadegg, we have no words when we heard about the loss to the OCR community. Rylan has been someone we can always look up to. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends during this time.
Hybrid Fitness Media posted, no words. As shocked as all of you, found this video and think shows an expression of Rylan as an elite and a person. And there's countless videos as well. I actually just saw another post just before we started recording from Jack Bauer, which has a breakdown of all of his stats, of course. And he said the first time Rylan Schadegg stepped foot on an obstacle course race was March 2021. His first hybrid race was a Deka Fit in September 2022, with his Hyrox debut a few months later in December 2022. In just 4 short years, Rylan put together one of the most impressive resumes in the sport history of both sports. Rylan was an outlier, capturing wins and podiums at the biggest obstacle and hybrid races during a time when nearly all top athletes decided to specialize in just one event. Rylan experienced more during his 27 years than most people do in a lifetime. It's a shame we won't get to see what else he could have achieved in the future. His legacy, both on and off course, won't be forgotten. So again, a lot of people have had more experiences with him, but when it came to the show, he was always quick to reply to us in messages and come on the show and this and that. So I thought it'd be good to repost not just the episode as I typically would have done, but Caitlin said just put out the interview of Rylan on the show because there's some words that he said in that interview that have echoed into my head ever since I heard of his passing. So let's get to that old interview from years ago. But let's get to what this episode's all about. So last week I had Sean Stevens-Way on the show because he was one of the few athletes that I wanted to hear from following Spartan North American Championship. Another athlete that I reached out to was Rylan Schadegg, who won the event. I've been wanting to have him on the show for a while, especially after listening to him on the Running Public Reinforced Running when he talked about disordered eating, injury recovery, and also with him being brought up frequently as a great guy, definitely boosted my interest as well. So let's get to the interview with Rylan. We'll start off with your name and where you're from.
My name is Rylan Schadegg. I am from Ogden, Utah.
Okay, so starting off with a hard-hitting question. How often do people mistakenly call you Ryan, and does it get annoying?
It's either Ryan or Riley or some form of that. Honestly, I don't really mind because I'm so used to it. Like Rylan is a very rare name, so pretty much anyone hears it, and if they didn't hear it super clear, they automatically assume it to a more common name. So I understand that. Like I get people's names wrong all the time, so why would I be upset if they get mine wrong? It's hard.
It is. So obviously I want to talk about your success in Kelowna and briefly on your very, very recent success with Deka. But first I wanted to say that you keep coming up when other people are talking about getting helped with things. So Lindsay was talking about when her stuff got stolen in Mexico, Jared Newby when his water bladder exploded and he needed a first aid kit for his hands. James Nair noted that you were helpful in guiding him towards a career path, and a few others that I can't remember. How important is it to have that switch of being a competitor, but being like a helpful person to the people that you're competing against?
Honestly, that is probably one of the best questions I've ever been asked on a podcast.
Thank you.
So thank you. It is massively important to me. To be honest, racing is just a celebration of what I already love to do. I could honestly never race another day in my life, and I would be doing pretty much the same thing I do every day. I'd be running, I'd be doing hike and flies, I'd be mountain biking, I would be rock climbing. Honestly, there's so many things that I love to do that I would be doing without racing. And it just happens that what I love to do, and then also my job requires me to be strong, or at least any firefighter should be strong. I feel like it's a responsibility, and a lot of people don't take it seriously enough. And so it just happens that I love endurance training and everything around that. And I feel so free and happy when I run. So it just all comes together into a really perfect type of fitness for OCR and I guess also hybrid racing.
Yeah.
So I race because I love racing, and I feel like, at least right now, God made me to race. Like, I've literally loved, I would be the kid on the playground when I was a kid who was always challenging other kids to race somewhere or across the monkey bars, or like everything was a competition to me growing up. And I grew up with 5 siblings, so that heightened that a lot. So to be honest, that is just a celebration of what I already like to do, and I love it. I love racing. But more importantly than any of that is my relationship with other people. So even today, I asked Kent before the race, I was like, hey, I know this is my first Deka fit. I know you're the champ around here. Like, I want to make sure that I respect that. And is there anything that I need to know about who has the right of way, who, like kosher rules where it's not acceptable if I do something to you in front of you? Like, so he gave me some tips on like how to stay out of the way if we're close to each other. And then basically leader has the right of way. So if someone in front of you does something, you need to bounce to another station or another ram or whatever it is. So like, relationships with people are so much more important than racing will ever be. And there's a quote by a runner named Tommy Ribs, and I'm pretty sure it's his originally. And he said, if I get to the end of my life and all that people say about me was I was fast, what a meaningless life that would be. And I think about that fairly frequently, because if I get to the end of my life and people show up to my funeral and all they can say is, dang, that kid was fast, like, that's meaningless. Like, that ultimately means nothing. And I would rather it be things like, I remember that time when Rylan helped me here. I remember that time when I was going through a rough time and Rylan took some time to spend with me or talk to me or whatever. And so that's huge, man. It's so much more important than racing.
Yeah,
so I appreciate the question a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I've been keeping track. I mean, I obviously interview a lot of people, and when your name just kept coming up, I'm like, I want to talk to this guy, non-contingent on his race success, although that helps too. But for me, for the sport, the thing that I love about it is the camaraderie, even between competitors and everything. And I just think that you're like, I don't know, you're a very welcome new blood to the sport. So I'm very, very happy to hear.
Thank you.
Now, you mentioned firefighting. Obviously, that's fantastic for fitness, but it also has its downsides. So I heard you talk a little bit about how you were coughing up blood in Utah. So can you talk about how that affected you a little bit?
Yes. So to be honest, I've never had that happen before. Utah was directly a couple days after 4th of July, which is typically a very hot and dry time in Utah. And you add fireworks to that. And almost every year we get a couple brush fires. So I work 48-hour shifts. Sometimes I'll do a 72. Like, when I get back, I have 2 72s to work when I get back to pay back trades, because I've been traveling for the last 2 weeks essentially. So I have to pay back the time I was gone because I traded with people. So I have 4 extra shifts to work when I get back, 24-hour shifts. So about 96 extra hours. So I'll be doing that over a span of a couple weeks, paying those back. And before Utah, we worked the 4th and the 5th, I think, before the Utah Spartan race. And we got a brush fire, or we're on a brush fire both days, fairly big ones that took a few hours. We were in there. So I think what happened is the air is already very dry in Utah, and I'm pretty acclimated to that. But the smoke, I think, irritated my trachea. And so with the breathing hard, it started bleeding. And so I was swallowing the blood, and at least anyone who's swallowed lots of blood before, maybe you have a bad nosebleed or something like that. We go on bad nosebleeds at work fairly frequently. And what happens is your stomach starts to reject it and you just start vomiting. So about halfway through the race, that started happening. I didn't realize it, but it was weird because I've never thrown up in any sort of activity before, like during, and I threw up 3 times that day. And the last time I actually did it into my hand because it was at the finish and I wanted to hide it from people because it's kind of disgusting. And I looked down and it was red. And I realized none of my fuel was red. None of my like nutrition, drink mix, nothing. So then I kind of like checked and it was blood. So yeah.
That's crazy.
And then the next day it happened as well on a bike ride. So just like the spitting up blood, I didn't vomit again because I decided not to swallow it that time. So
obviously that took a little bit of time to recover from. How were you feeling going into Kelowna?
Really good. It was so Utah, I was expecting to feel fairly good because I had 6 to 8 weeks. I don't really remember exactly. I had been training pretty consistently. Like my injuries disappeared. Some things that I needed to work through in my personal life got better, and just like things started to come together around late May after Big Bear. So I was able to start training, and by Utah, I was feeling pretty fit. And then Kelowna, I was really excited for, but also nervous because I knew everyone else had been training hard, and like sometimes trajectories, they just keep matching inclines. So I was like, well, Hawk, he could have gotten fitter as well. I know I'm fitter, but you know, you never know where everyone else is at. So ultimately, whenever I line up like today, I knew Kent was going to smash his old record. I was positive that would happen. Almost everybody PR'd today. But what I respect about other people is I never really say I'm going to win because I feel like that's disrespectful to other people's efforts. I tell myself in my head, I know I can win, but also I respect the work that other people have put in. So going into Kelowna, I just raced the same way I always try to race, which is asking whatever strength God gives me on that day, I will use that and all of it. And some days it's more than others. Some days I'm injured or I have something in the background that's holding me back. But ultimately, as long as I can say that I gave my full effort, I'm happy with that no matter what the placement is. Sometimes I'll be frustrated if I made a lot of mistakes. Like in Kelowna, I failed the spear, which honestly, that's totally my fault because I hadn't practiced a spear since Utah. And that's on me. Like terrible, terrible planning on my part. I thought maybe someone would have a spear up at the menu and I could practice the day before, but that didn't happen. And I totally botched it. I thought I needed to throw it a little harder because it was wet and I threw it over the target. So bad on me. And then I also fell off the multi-rig. It was my first wet race though. So I wasn't upset about that because I knew going into the race that I would have to slow down on the obstacles because they were wet. I just didn't really know which ones and how much.
Yeah. And it was wet and cold
monkey bars
too, right?
went okay. Beater went great. The multi-rig I fell off. So
yeah, that's not bad. And I like that balance of, you know, you have to have some amount of ego to be a competitor, but balancing that, you know, cockiness versus confidence. I talk to a lot of athletes like VJ about that too. Like, how do you find that balance? And for everybody, there's their own balance. But I like that how like, not I'm going to win, but I am capable of winning. I like that a lot.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So going into the race a little bit, I don't want to go through the whole thing because I know you just were talking to Matthew Davis about that, but talking to Jack after you finished, you talked about how mile 8 to 9 you got emotional about hitting your limit without injury. So what was going through your head at that time?
So a lot was going through it. It came in 2 different waves that I remember. I crested the second climb and I realized it was mostly downhill to the finish, which is a strength of mine. I really love running downhill. Unfortunately, it was mostly dirt roads, so it was kind of mind-numbing, but I'll take mountain views over flat terrain any day. If I'm running hills, I'm happy, but I'm happier if it's single track. So Spartan, just so you know, single track is better than a road. So I started to get emotional because I realized for the first time in almost a year since Utah last year, where I fractured my heel the second day, I realized that nowhere on my mind was, oh, my ankle's gonna have problems, or my knee, or shin splints, or anything, like all these soft tissue issues that I've been having post boot, like being in a boot for 3 months. All those things weren't there, and I had finally been able to train enough to where I thought I was prepared, and then I was doing it.
Yeah,
like I was cruising, and it didn't really matter the placing I was in. It was just like, I know that there's been some talk about like why I'm consistently coming in like around 5th place or something at national series. And, you know, I'll tell people, sometimes I'll share. I don't like giving a lot of excuses, because that also is taking away from other athletes. Like, ultimately you get done what you want to get done in a day. Like, if I choose to spend more time with family, or I choose to train in a way that makes me injured, or I jump into the dunk wall and there's a boulder at the bottom and I fracture my heel, like, that was my decision, and I deal with the consequences. So there is a bit of that, but also explaining to like close friends and family, like, hey, I'm struggling right now, but this is still something I know I'm capable of more in. And I had some friends told me like, hey, like maybe you're being guided by the universe or God. To me, like, I believe in God. Maybe you're being guided in a different direction. And I didn't believe it, because I know that I was made to do this right now. Like, it's on my mind all the time. I love training in the mountains. Like I said, I'll be training the exact same way if I'm not racing. So it's just something that I enjoy so much. So to finally put it together, or kind of put it together, I failed two things. To put it together in a race, it meant a lot, because I realized for the first time this year, I had enough volume in the tank to run a beast. I strung things together fairly well, and I just felt strong, and I didn't worry about my ankles once. I didn't worry about getting injured. Like, I felt strong and healthy to be able to race. And it's been a long time since I've been able to say that. I could have said that in Utah. I just started vomiting, so that was an issue. But to finally realize that, like, God gave me the chance to put everything I have on the table and be able to use that meant a lot. And I was so thankful in that moment. So it was like tears of joy.
Yeah,
for sure. And then I kind of got it under control. And then a mile or two later down the road, I started thinking about, I used to have a binge eating disorder, fairly bad, that came from me thinking I needed to weigh a certain weight to mountain bike faster. And so it's still in the back of my mind, to be honest. I'm completely healthy with the way I eat now. I don't think about food every moment of the day anymore, which is so freeing. And I have a healthy relationship with food, and that's awesome. Like, it took me 2 or 3 years to get there, but I'm there, and it's amazing. I don't weigh myself anymore. I don't worry about weight. I just worry about performance, and that's it. And I fuel my body accordingly. But I started thinking about all the times that I was told I needed to be lighter in order to climb faster, when I realized that I outclimbed the whole field. And sure, it wasn't mountain biking, but it's still the same principle. Like, people generally think if you're lighter, you go uphill faster. But for me, that's not true. And for a lot of people, that's not true. If you get too light, you get too weak, and then you're not able to do that. So it felt really good to feel strong, like I can do a Deka fit and a Deka strong or high rocks or whatever, but also feel fast in the mountains too, up and down hills, exactly, which is typically where lighter people do better. And I just kept thinking about comments that I used to get about being like, oh, you're big for a cyclist, or you're big for a runner. And I realized that I was doing something for the big boys, like the people that struggle with the same things that I do, that reach out to me through Instagram or whatever, or just that I've met in person. like I was showing them that they also can be free from that eating disorder, and they also can feel good about their body, because I feel great. The way I feel is awesome. Like I feel fast and strong, and I love that mixture.
Yeah.
And I realized that, like, hopefully I'm inspiring other people to stop trying to change their body into what they think it needs to be, and instead train in a way that their body adapts to what it needs to be. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
I cut calories for almost 3 years straight. I tracked everything. I was constantly trying to lose weight, and it really ruined my relationship with food, because I thought I always had to be lighter. And now I'm like, I don't care. And that was another reason, because I realized I had finally beat it.
Yeah.
Like also was able to show others that they can beat it too. And that meant a lot to me.
I remember hearing about that when you were on the running public, and I thought that was really awesome that, on the podcast personally, we're very much for like ending stigma. You know, there's a stigma against this, stigma against that, like eating disorders. Oh, that's for women. No, men are affected by that too. Rich Ryan was public about it. And the more that you guys speak out, undoubtedly that helps someone. If it's just one person, it's worth it. But I'm sure it's much, much more people from then. I even just had Kelly Schweikart on recently who was talking about it. And it's definitely out there. And what people have to realize is, you know, if you're lighter, that's great, but you're also more fragile. You need the muscle. You need, there's so much more. That the human body is so complex. Just say that like, oh, you have to be lighter. It's completely undervaluing how complicated the human machine is. So yeah, absolutely. I'm really glad that you've been able to not get past that, because it's something that's always in the back of your head, as you know, mental things are. But just the fact that you've conquered it and continue to do that and shine a light on like, hey, this is a factor. More and more people like realize that this doesn't have to like chain you down too. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And the fact that you beat Hawk and Sean by like 4 minutes too. So were you aware of how much you were in the lead by as you kind of were closing down towards the finish?
No, I didn't. So Hawk's a very good descender, and so is Atkins. So the whole time I was like, they could, maybe I'm not as good of a descender as I think I am, or possibly I'm slowing down, or, you know, those thoughts in the back of your mind. So basically until the multi-rig, when I fell off, did the penalty loop and still didn't see anyone, I didn't know. Yeah. And then I asked Jack if I was still in the lead, because I thought maybe someone had passed me. He said, no, you still have a couple minutes. And I realized at that time, I probably had 4 to 5 minutes on the field before I failed, and I still had 2 to 3 minutes. So I just hammered after that. And that's the other thing is, because the only thing I slowed down for really was the festival area, especially Twister, because I didn't want to do more burpees and it was wet. So I slowed down for that and kind of took it in. But as far as when I'm actually racing, like I said, the ability that God's given me, it's there to use. So even if I'm in 5th or I'm in 1st, I'm still going to use it.
Yeah.
So at least that's how I view my responsibility with my fitness. So today, that was what I had. And last weekend, that was what I had. But also in Big Bear this year, when I took 5th, that was just what I had that day. Yeah. So I only get so much depending on how my training is going, and also just how life is going. And so whatever I'm blessed with, I should use, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Now, again, obviously you're very vocal about your faith. How do you balance credit to God and also to yourself? How do you find that balance?
That's a good question. In my opinion, ultimately, any way you slice it, all the credit goes to God anyways. Because yes, I train hard. I love training hard. I probably train just as much volume as most high volume athletes in OCR, at least. Cyclists are able to do more because it's all low impact. But between like running, strength training, mountain biking, hike and flies, and station workouts when I'm at work, and rock climbing, I put in a lot of volume just because that's what I love to do. So yes, there is an element of hard work, but the way I look at it is I'm a boat and God's the rudder. And if I'm not moving, there can be no steering involved. So the term like God can't steer a ship that's not moving is something that I think about. So my job is to use what he's given me, whether that's at work, with becoming a better fireman or better on medical calls, whatever it is. Like that's something I still need to work on because there's so much for me to learn. Like there's tech rescue, there's vehicle extrication, there's fire, there's EMS, there's hazmat. Like there's all these different branches that I need to learn more about. And then when I'm not at work, I focus on things with myself. Like how can I be better with my family?
Yeah.
How can I train in a better way, but also that inspires me and inspires other people? So in a way, God's just given me certain abilities and gifts, and my job is to push the ship forward or to row, and then he can steer me in whatever direction he wants. But ultimately it's up to him. Because like my mom got Lyme's disease when I was in high school, still has it, but it's much more manageable. But I would literally carry her out of grocery stores because her body would shut down. And there is nothing saying that won't happen to me. I go on calls where I watch people die, or I see people who are paralyzed or quadriplegic fairly frequently. And it's made me realize that, like, who am I to say that won't happen to me? And when that happens, maybe, or if that happens, maybe my life will look different, but it's still my responsibility to do the best with what I have. So any health that I have right now, it's my responsibility to use that for God's glory because he gave it to me. So all the credit goes to him. My only job is just to use it. So I just try and use it. That's really all I'm doing. Yeah. So I don't think you can ever err on giving the person who gives you life more credit than he deserves, because my health is like given to me by him. Like ultimately he controls everything. So if I end up with, say, like my mom, if I end up with Lyme's disease and my body shuts down a bit, then I will be forced to take a step back for a while. There are ways to come back from it. Like I think Kirk DeWint has it as well. But like when I fractured my heel last year, it actually was a huge lesson that I gained so much value from my job and then also my athletic achievements. And it taught me that I need to learn how to love myself as a person, because I couldn't work and I couldn't train and I couldn't race. And those are like the three biggest time things in my life.
Yeah.
So I went from doing everything to nothing. And it was a huge lesson in sometimes things will be taken away from you and you have to respect that as well. But when you have them, you should use them. And so all the credit goes to him, because when he gives me that strength and like the ability to race, I don't mean he gives me some supernatural talent. Like I put the work in, but also he's the only one. You can water the plant, but we have no idea how to design a plant to grow. We don't cause the growth. So it's the same thing with our body. We can put the work in and feed it great nutrition and sleep, which I'm not the best about sleeping because of work, but I'm trying to get better at it. But ultimately, the actual metabolic changes, we can understand a little bit of them, but we don't cause them. And so that's how I look at it, man. Like anything that I'm able to do is just what I'm blessed with. So
yeah, I think that's awesome. That's a good answer. And then transitioning a little bit to Deka, which just happened. I didn't get to watch the live stream. I've been busy over here, but what happened? you beat Kent, who was a former world record, and so fill me in. What happened there?
So I did do a simulation Thursday morning while I was in Montana. I did almost a full Deka sim at about 90%. And I knew I should be sub 31 minutes. And I wanted to be the first one to go sub 29, which Kent was also going for. And we both got it today. So we ended up sharing that, which was awesome. But I knew Kent was going to be faster if somebody pushed him. And I thought I could give him a run for his money. In my head, I would never say like, I'm going to win, because you don't know that. You don't know what someone else is capable of. But I knew that I had potential to win, and I was confident in that. And to be honest, like we went out and I felt great on the running, which I was pretty sure that would be my strong suit. Like I've started to get faster running because I didn't come from a running background. So the more I run, the faster I've been getting at running.
Yeah.
Kind of weird how that happens.
Right.
So I felt really good on the runs. And then I knew I haven't been doing much station work since I've been traveling so much. So I've only hopped on a ski erg and a rower a couple times in the last month. And so I was worried about the stations, but I got to the ram lunges and those are pretty simple. So I felt good on that. And then I hopped on the rower and I haven't messed much around with the settings, and someone had put the setting at 7 and I usually run it at like 9.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was rowing like 133 and it felt effortless at 7. And I was like, I've been rowing on the wrong setting my whole life. And so I looked at Kent's screen and I looked at Rich Ryan's, and they were around like 137 ish. So I backed off because I was 5 seconds ahead, and then I didn't want to be all alone because I wanted to be able to pace off of them. Because since I haven't done a Deka fit, I was a little worried that I would overcook it or undercook it. So I backed off a little to like 137, 140. And I still got off the rower quite a bit faster than other people. So you can see in the video, I'm looking back as I leave and I'm like, is anyone going to join me? And it was a few seconds until anyone else got off. So Rich and Kent started chasing me down, and I just decided to kind of cruise in front of them and not really let them catch me, because then they're not working hard enough to catch me. So I kind of just ran at my comfortable pace, and I just kept about the same distance that whole time. And then Rich dropped off, I guess. And Kent was still around the same distance, maybe a little farther, until we got to some of the stations. And then I tried to ease up on some of the stations and then just stay at that comfortable pace on the run so that I wouldn't redline. Because if I'm racing in front, lots of the time I like to, unless I decide I'm going and I'm going to just obliterate the field, which maybe one day I'll try. But unless that happens, I like to, if I'm in front, I like to make sure that if someone latches onto me or pushes past me, then I can attack them.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard when you catch somebody and you pass them and then they have another gear and they totally rip into you. Yeah. So like on the assault bike today, Kent caught me, led for about 10 to 20 yards, and then I repassed him and started to really lay into him. Because in my mind, I was like, I want to make sure I go into the sled, because I have a fairly good sled. I feel really good about it. I wanted to make sure I got there first so that I could hopefully make sure I outrun him. And then burpees, I almost never practice those ram burpees because I don't have a ram. So I wanted a comfortable lead going into that. So after the assault bike, I focused on trying to build a small lead so that when we got to the burpees, I could just do them how I do them and work on good form and not get no reps and just try and finish. So that's kind of how it went down. It was fun. Super fun.
It's also, I can't remember if it was Dave Claxton or Rich Ryan that talked about how you had your simulation. They're like, oh, he's going to be a threat. And you were. You very, very much were going into this. And so it was just really cool to see, like, oh, he won. Like, surprised, but yet not surprised.
Thanks.
So, yeah, so that's super exciting. Obviously, you're planning to go to Atlantic City for the World Championships now, right?
Yes, I also need to look at flights for that. It's hard with work because I'm trying to be good about not trading too much time so I can work with my crew. Mm-hmm. Because I do understand, like my captains brought it up to me, if I work with my crew and you're constantly working with the same people, you get used to who's good at what, and you're more efficient as a dynamic unit because the scene is constantly changing. And if you work together all the time, you know who needs to do what. And it's a lot more fluid and motionless because it's already dynamic and hectic enough. So if you can bring some calm to the scene, it helps if you have the same people. So when I trade with other people, I introduce a new person to the crew and it makes it hard on the crew. So I'm trying to mitigate how many times I trade with other people and be with my crew as much as possible. but also get to races. So I've got to trade still for those days. So I need to get them off work in order to show up. I do have OCR Worlds off, and then I also have Trifecta Worlds off, which I'm hopefully going to make.
Nice.
And then I don't know if I have Spartan Worlds off yet. I need to check. So I've got a lot of trading and like scheduling to do.
I may be a bit biased, but I am as always, I'm very excited for OCRWC. It is a fantastic experience, and it's right by me, so that's why it's a little biased there. But you're gonna have a blast. Again, like no contingent on success, fun obstacles. Yeah,
it does look sweet. I really want to go. I'm pretty sure. So I have it off work, so I'm making it happen. Like I just found out I have a place to stay today.
Good.
And I need to look at flights. And then I think I also have a car now, like transportation from the airport. I just got to fly to the airport now. So everything else should be. Oh, and I got to sign up for the races. So
that too.
Trying to work on it.
One quick thing that I did hear you talk to Matt about is like the whole team aspect of it. Just make sure everything's kind of dialed in, because in the past things have been wonky with teams not working out day of, and also especially this year, I don't know what it is, but like the team categories full, I heard, but not full. So just see if you could talk to someone that's in the know about that too, because I just want to make sure you don't get screwed over with that, because the team is a fun aspect of it too, even if you're just spectating.
Okay.
Being, a lot of pressure with this statement, but kind of being seen as the future of the sport, how does it feel having all those eyes on you?
It used to be on my mind more, I'll be honest, because a lot of people talk to me about that, or I should say a few people talk to me about that. And here's where I'm at, man. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this in 5-10 years. I don't know what I'll be doing. I don't know if I'll still have the health to do it. There's so much I don't know about life, and there's so much I want to do. Like I really want to become a better pilot. I really want to be better at work and work on promoting at work. And I love racing. So I'm going to be running in the mountains. I can tell you that. I'm going to be training to be strong and fit, regardless, because that's my job. And also that's what I love to do. And it's, in a way, I feel like that's what I was made to do. And so with those things, like knowing myself, if I still have the health to do so, I'll probably still be around. But ultimately, like, again, it's up to God. So if I'm not here and I'm not blessed with that opportunity, then that's okay. If I start for some reason racing poorly or whatever, then either I need to learn how to just have fun with that, or I need to take a step back. And I don't know. Like, we never know what's going to happen in the future. So ultimately, I've decided when people talk about the future, I take it with a grain of salt, because honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to be alive tomorrow. So like I joke about it a lot, but I see people that shouldn't be dead yet, or at least we think they shouldn't be dead yet, and they're young. And like, who's to say some person that's texting on their phone isn't going to take you out on your bike? Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Who's to say that while I'm riding my motorcycle, same thing. When I was in Spokane, there was a kid texting and almost swerved into me. And I mean, that could have been it. I could die in the mountains somewhere. Like, I don't know. A rock could fall on me. You have no idea when you're going to go. So at least for me, the future thing doesn't really apply, because I don't even know if I'm going to be there. So I'm just going to live like how I should and who I am right now. And if I'm there in 10 years, cool. If I'm not, cool. I'm good with it.
I really think that's the way to be. I've been called a few things having that same mindset, but it's realistic, and it makes you enjoy life more, I would think too, right? Yeah. Absolutely. And
it also takes a lot of the pressure off, because people, I got asked a couple times this weekend, like, hey, do you want to be on my team to go for a doubles world record or whatever? And first of all, I have a doubles partner in High Rocks already. And then today I have a doubles partner with Brendan, who I'm staying with here in Florida. So sorry guys, I'm already taken for those. But like in the future, people are asking me like, hey, do you want to go for a world record in this space? And I was real with him. I was like, to be honest, I don't know if I can plan that far out, because next year I might just be stoked on ridge running and just be ridge running every weekend for all I know. Like, I love running ridges. So I've raced 4 out of the last 5 weekends, and I'm already looking forward to actually getting sleep at home, because I've been camping a lot, not sleeping that well. And like race, you have to get up early. Like this morning I was up at 4. Yesterday morning I was up at 3:30. So, like, it's really hard to plan that stuff. And I'm looking forward to being home and just working towards my goals in the mountains that I want to do. There's a thing called the Wasatch Ultimate Ridgeline, the Whirl, and it's 30 miles of ridgeline with 17K of vert.
Wow.
And I want to try and do it. It looks gnarly. It's techie the whole time. It's a lot of route finding and scrambling. And I want to do it just to say I did it. And that's a huge goal for me this year. So I have a buddy who his mom just died, and that was I asked him how I could help him out. And he said, run the Whirl with me. I was like, hey, I'm going to do it once with him, and I'm going to do it once for myself.
So another aspect of being an athlete that I know is a struggle for a lot of the elites is separating your identity from being contingent on race success. So how has that been for you?
It's something that I struggle with most days, to be honest with you. It's a huge part of who I am as a person, and it's been that way pretty much since I was 5. When I was really young, I wanted to be a professional soccer player and a snowboarder, and I did a lot of that. And then I kind of burnt out of soccer and found mountain biking at the same time. It was like within the same year, and I realized I was pretty decent at mountain biking and that I could be a professional mountain biker. So I went for that instead. And then straight after that, that was 5 or 6 years of chasing being a professional mountain biker for a long time. And then I finally stepped away from sports for a year or 2 before I found Spartan. And it was different, man. Like, I was still training. I was still running. Or actually, I started running because I stopped biking.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm back into a sport and doing fairly well at it, it's been a wake-up call that I still find a lot of my identity in how I perform. And it's something I'm working on. I don't have it figured out. I will say that, so I became a Christian about a year ago again. I wasn't a Christian for a few years. I was kind of raised Christian and then left the church for a bit. And finding my identity in who I am as a person outside of racing, and that helping has largely been in part to my faith, just because I'm learning to accept that I have value as a human that was created by God versus just what I accomplish. Because even after I quit mountain biking, I went straight into work accomplishments. I wanted to be the best recruit. I wanted to be the youngest. I was one of the youngest recruits, and I wanted to win the best recruit award, and I wanted to be the best probationary firefighter. And then after that, I wanted to make sure everyone liked me and that I was good at my job, and all things that are good, but I took too much value in that. And so now I'm starting to learn / really working on holding myself in a way that I have value outside of what I achieve and not just my achievements. I was actually talking with a friend the other day, and I asked her, do you find that people value you only for your success with racing? Because she does OCR. I asked her, do people value you only because you're good at this? Do you feel like there's a large part of you that's only loved because of your other accomplishments? Because I feel that way a lot of the time. When I do well, people reach out and they're stoked for me, and I appreciate that. But honestly, the most meaningful message I got after North American Champs, which if you've congratulated me on either one of my wins, I appreciate it a ton. I am by no means saying that I hate that. I just want to throw that out there. I appreciate you guys a ton. What I'm saying is I had a friend reach out to me that just needed to talk about some hard things he was going through and didn't even know about North American Champs at all.
And that meant way more to me because he was reaching out for who I am as a person versus how my performance was that weekend, because he didn't even know until after.
Yeah.
And that meant a lot to me because I was valued for something other than what I accomplished on a weekend where a lot of people were valuing me because of what I accomplished. And I appreciate that so much more. And it helps like reinforce in me that I am more of a person away from the sport than I am in the sport. And I want to keep that, but I also, it's hard for me to realize that has value too sometimes. So outside of work and competing.
It's a tough balance that I see a lot of athletes kind of struggle with too. And I mean, I don't know if I'm in the minority or what, but I'm just like happy to see you guys. And I'm like, as long as you feel like you had a good race, like I'm happy for you. But I mean, it is pretty, impressive to see people up on a podium and all that stuff too. So I get that. What advice would you give to others that are trying to improve themselves in the sport, trying to take it up, step it up to the next level in competition?
Get rid of a lot of the BS is probably one of the top things. So a lot of coaches will throw in super complicated workouts and they make the training seem like there's magic bullets. So like, okay, you're going to do 4 200s and then 4 400s and then 3 800s. And then you're going to go back to 4 400s and then like a 200. Like, yes, that can be a great workout. But honestly, the bread and butter of it is the consistency of hitting different paces and also the consistency of constantly spending time on the terrain you're going to race on. So I was actually talking with some people today at the race and they were like, what's your 5K time? It's like, I have no idea what my 5K time is. I've never run in a circle for 5K. Like that sounds, to be honest, that's not what I'm about. Like I'll do a track workout once every 2 weeks, maybe like an actual track workout, maybe even once a month. Cause I was more in a base fit, now it up once a week. But the only time I run on a track or on a treadmill is when I'm forced to at work, pretty much. So if I'm not there, like my love and passion and where I feel the most inspired and like my cup is overflowing is in the mountains. Yeah. And I want to race in the mountains. So I go train in the mountains. So I was actually really surprised that when I tried Deka Fit a few weeks ago and then showed up today, I had fun. Yeah. And it was really surprising to me because I was running on concrete in a circle. Yep. But when you do it with other people and it's hard, it just gets more fun, I guess. So like I didn't know what my split should be. I didn't know what I should go for my 5K split. A lot of the stations I wasn't sure. And I was just looking at other people's screens to see if I was going too fast or if I was going too slow. And like, that's okay. You can learn from other people on the go. But also like, don't make it super complicated because ultimately like I'm actually a fairly low mileage runner compared to a lot of the true runners in the sport. And so I just made it above like 40 miles a week, all balanced between 40 and 50. And that's a new thing for me. Yeah. All this spring with the injuries and stuff, I was like 10 to 20. And so, but the volume makes a difference. So I would hop on the bike. Yes. I'd do the assault bike or my mountain bike, or I even swam in some lakes when my heel was fractured, like things like that. Or even hike and flies. Like I'll hike up the hill and then fly down so I don't have the impact, but I'm packing weight up the steep incline. And I know I'm going to race steep inclines. So sometimes I'll do it faster at like a race pace. Lots of the time it's at like a zone 1, zone 2 effort, and I'll listen to a podcast or to music. So it's my advice to other people is, one, find out what inspires you and what gets you excited about training first. Yeah. If you hate speed work, maybe try doing speed work on the trails. Cause I actually enjoy running around track if it's fast. If I'm doing true speed work, I can enjoy a track workout. Maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. But because I'm more inspired to race on trails, I'll do speed work on the trails more frequently, or I'll do my long run at like a zone 3 effort, which is pretty fast for me. Or I'll do like threshold intervals for like 5 minutes. I'll do like 5x5 or, something simple like that. But I'm running fast on the terrain that I'm racing on. So I have no interest in being a fast dirt road runner. Yeah. So if they pick slow here, sure, because I do track work, I might be fast. But I'm never going to be, there's never and there's never and always. I probably will never enjoy running on a dirt road as much as I enjoy running on single track. I probably will never enjoy a flat race more than a race in the mountains. So I choose to spend my time training and hanging out in the mountains because that's what I want to be good at. So if I'm not the best at running around a track because of that, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a track racer. There's a reason. I'm not a dirt road runner. There's a reason.
I think that's some good advice there.
Train at what you want to be good at. If you want to be good at Deka, do a lot of running, but also do strength work. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm doing both. If you want to be good at Spartan, train a lot of running and hit like a climbing gym or an OCR gym. Like, it's pretty simple. Like, train at what you want to be good at. And then if you're having a hard time with volume, add some biking, doesn't hurt.
Speaking to other people, growing up in the sport and all that, I saw that you have a little brother that's in the sport of OCR too.
Yeah. So I actually have 3 little brothers. All of them are ballers, like absolute animals. I was talking with Dade Collins. He raced today. He crushed it. I'm pretty sure he got a top 12 time as well.
Nice.
I was talking with him while I was running in the Denver parking garage at the airport yesterday on a layover. We were running together and he asked me, are all of your brothers like fairly active? And I was like, oh yeah. When me and my brothers get together, we run down mountains. We'll run up the mountains. Like this July, at the end of July, I went up to like a church camp with my family. And every morning we were pretty much running up and down the mountain and we would race each other to the bottom. And like I would film it with my GoPro and cause I like making videos. I have like a small YouTube channel and yeah, like it's what I love to do. And it's also, they love to be outside as well. So if we see a pole, like a flag pole, we'll be like, okay, who can do the human flag? And we'll kind of see where our strength that is. And like me, when I was biking, I had a terrible upper body. So I couldn't do any of the stuff that they were doing. And now I'm like, dude, I can bust out more pull-ups than most of my brothers now. So I feel good about it. So like they are crushing it. But my youngest brother, Joshua, he's the one that's been winning every age group national series that he shows up to.
Yeah.
By like quite a bit in his age group. Yeah. He is a straight up talented kid. Like he's really good at art, but he's also super, super physically gifted. So he has this idea. You should hit him up. Like anyone who's listening to this, you should hit him up. He's going to start doing sketches of people instead of race photos. You can send him a picture and he will do a custom watercolor or sketch of your race photo and you can put it up in a frame on a wall. So he started making some of me. It's so sick because like he is good. He has a painting in my living room that's like a 3-piece mountain painting. He did it in acrylic and like he does acrylic, watercolor, oil, pastel, like sketches. He does pretty much everything because that's what he's passionate about. So he's trying to merge the two passions together. And watch out, because if he shows up to a race, he's starting to run more and more and more as he gets older. That kid is going to be quick.
And you said this is Josh, right?
Yeah, he's 17.
Okay, wow, that's awesome. Watercolor, I like that because OCR, especially when it started back in 2011, 2012, was a very big social media sport. So pictures were everything, and I think it's really cool taking a step back and like, yeah, but art. How about a painting? Like everyone has a picture of yourself. Do you want a painting? I think that's really cool.
It is. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Awesome. So it's time to wrap up. We talked about OCRWC. We talked about, Deka World Championships in Atlantic City. What else do you have planned for the rest of this year?
I'm really hoping to go run in the mountains in Greece and then show up to the race because I actually have that off on vacation. So I really want to take like a week-long trip just running in the mountains and then show up and try and race well at Trifecta Worlds and then
Spartan Worlds, if I can afford it, I might go, but kind of depends on the prize money situation because I can only afford to go to so many races. So I got to figure out like if I'll get reimbursed for prize money or not, if I can afford to go. Basically, I'd love to go though. I'm planning on it. Like like I said, I'll be training regardless, so it really doesn't matter. But I hope to go to all 4 of those world championships, or all 5: OCRWC, Trifecta Worlds, Deka Worlds, Spartan Worlds, and then hopefully High Rocks Worlds later next year.
Awesome.
So we'll see. Got to qualify for all of them. I'm qualified for 4 of the 5. I got to work on High Rocks now.
I feel like it won't be long for you.
All right.
With all the crazy stuff that you're doing, do you have any sponsors that you'd like to thank? I'm pretty sure you talked about Benny Gifford as his company, right?
Yeah. So US Shilajit helped me with some travel at the beginning of the year. And also they make a really good product. So if you're looking to maybe balance your hormones or bump up your testosterone, which if you don't sleep much, your testosterone suffers. So I actually take I'll take beet juice, like I take Beet Elite, and then I also use dark cherries and like avocado and try and eat certain foods that help elevate my testosterone. And then also Shilajit is one of the proven things to help increase testosterone, so as well as balance other hormones. So that's a solid company. I really do believe in what they're doing. And then these fresh kits that I always have on, I actually just designed another one, and hopefully it'll be ready for OCRWC. Hyperthreads is a cycling based company in Utah, and they make completely custom clothing. Like they can print anything you want on fabric. So I love standing out and just like living life differently than other people. So I want to look different than other people. So they actually let me go in every few weeks and design clothing for myself. Wow. And anyone can do it. Like you can literally just email them or call them, whatever you want to do. It's called Hyperthreads. And they have you sit down with a designer and you sketch what you want, or you tell them what you want, or you send them a picture of like an idea. And then their designer works with you to design your kit. So if you're going to buy a kit, you might as well just make it custom to you. So I really do love what they do. And I love my race kits. Like I think they look sick. And I'm really excited about the next one. So hopefully we'll see that OCRWC. And then I have like a CBD sponsorship called MetLife. And so when I'm sore or like muscles are kind of hurting or joints, I have like this pain cream that helps with inflammation. And then I also have a muscle rub, which helps reduce soreness. And that's actually something that has helped. Like that weekend, I did the Cirque series on Saturday, and then I broke the Deka mile world record 2 days later. My legs were locked up because I did like I did 2 sub 430 miles, or I think 1 sub 430 mile on the descent of the fire road at like 17%, and then some trail. So my quads were obliterated, and I was really worried that like Trainer Zone Fitness, the gym in Sandy that was like letting me go for the record, I was honestly scared that they were going to shut the whole gym down for an hour and I wasn't going to break the world record. I was like, I'm so sore. So I literally used like a quarter of the rub, like a quarter of the vial, and just rubbed it on my legs for like an hour. And the next day I woke up and felt fine. So that stuff does work. So it's pretty sick. I'm trying to think. VJ shoes, everyone knows about them.
Yes,
definitely helps. I don't wear them when I'm like running on the treadmill or inside, but I do wear them every time I'm on the trails because they just have better grip and they're light and fast. So I'm a huge fan.
Which shoe do you prefer? Because I'm in the market looking for another one. I have the VJ Max, which I really like, but I've had them for a couple of years and it's starting to break down a little bit. What would you recommend?
Yeah. So the Max is actually, I'm going to try going up a size because they're too narrow for me.
Yeah.
And they're also a little short. So I usually wear a 10.5, but in the Ultra 2, the Ultra 2 is better than the 1. Okay. It has more tread on the bottom and a rock plate. So I actually raced Utah in the Ultra 2 because it wasn't that technical of a course, but it was really rocky and like those kind of rocks that poke through your sole.
Yeah.
So I raced in that because it had more padding, and the Ultra 2 has a rock plate. But for Kelowna at Big White, like North American champs, 100% extreme 2.
Yeah.
Because it's a more locked in fit, and it's just so precise. And then also the tread is more aggressive, and it was muddy. Yeah. Like it was raining. So there was some mud on course, and it was just technical bushwhacking sometimes. So it also has rock plates. So bombing down fire roads, you're pretty protected. That's usually when I get rock strikes, is on fire roads. So I would either go Extreme 2 or the Ultra 2. If you want a long run shoe, go Ultra 2. Okay. If you want a more precise like OCR shoe, Extreme 2.
Okay, that's good to know, because I definitely am getting back into the ultras once my Achilles starts to feel better. So that's a personal question. Cool. I appreciate it. Yeah. And where can people follow you on social media? Also, your YouTube channel, plug that too.
So my YouTube channel is super small. I don't know if people want to check it out. It's just videos of like what I do with my life, basically for fun. So just paragliding and motorbike stuff, and just like running and stuff like that. That I believe it's just my name, Rylan Schadegg, is my YouTube channel, and then my Instagram is also just my name. It's just at Rylan Schadegg. So as long as you spell it right, I should pop up.
Awesome. So, and then any final thoughts on how awesome your past couple weeks have been?
I'm just so grateful to be healthy and fit at the same time, man. Like God's blessed me with a lot, so I'm really grateful, and I'm so excited to get back home and 1, get some sleep, and 2, start training, because like I'm so excited to run in the mountains. Florida's a little flat for me, so
totally fair.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got this to work out. Great to finally meet you in this way, and hopefully meeting you in person a couple times later this year. So
hopefully, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Welcome back.
Yes. Thank you to Rylan Schadegg, who took the time to get this call. I know that we wanted to get it done last week, but things didn't work out, and then he went and won Deka. So, and set the record. So, yeah, awesome timing and great having him on.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Rylan, for all the lives that you've touched over the short life that you had. Yeah, you will be missed. For related episodes, when we've had him on the show, there was episode 296, which was this episode.
Rylan Schadegg on winning Spartan North American Championship, Palm Beach Deka Fit, and Faith.
And then we had him on for episode 299 when I finally got to meet him in person.
OCR WC Championship 3K with Elites and Graham Roberts from Knox, or NOX.
And then I got to interview him again in person at the Spartan Poconos 3K, so episode 342.
Spartan Poconos 3K audio and interview with Elites.
Yeah.
Subscribe and follow wherever you get your podcasts. We are Obstacle Running Adventures on all of the podcast players. And if you like what you heard, leave us a review on that purple podcast app from Apple. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Obstacle Running Adventures.
And you can support us financially over on patreon.com. But if you choose to do that, please use the website and not the app, because there's extra fees that I don't want anyone else to have to deal with.
Coming up next,
hopefully that book interview?
Yeah.
Did you get a time? Should we reach back out?
No, not yet.
Okay. So hopefully that. I have so many other ideas too, because this was a big race weekend for both FISO World Championships that happened. There was the Pan American Championships, the Trifecta World Championships, and then also Killington was this weekend as well. So no shortage of future episode ideas. We will see what happens.
And then I have a quote. My quote is from Edward Lee. It says, "And if memories are all I have left of you, then I will swim deep in those memories for all the years that are left to me."
Nice. I think we can skip a joke for this episode. But thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.
We hope you're feeling motivated, inspired,
and ready to take on your next race or training run.
If you've enjoyed this week's episode, leave us a review
and share it with your fellow adventurous friends.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Obstacle Running Adventures.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Join us every week for more news,
stories, and interviews from the community.
Our intro song was Streaker by Straight Up.
And our outro music is Iron Paw by The Best.